Hey everybody, welcome to Pod Me If You Can. Today I'd like to talk about the Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore film, The Wedding Singer. In the 1990s, Carrie Fisher, of Star Wars fame, she did a rewrite on the film The Wedding Singer. She was famously a script doctor throughout the 1990s. Drew Barrymore mentioned in her book Wildflower that she was brought on to make the girl part more balanced. Adam Sandler had mentioned to her that the whole film would need a rewrite. Carrie Fisher's version was notably different from the finished film, and I wanted to point out some of the major differences. Julia and Glenn are not even engaged at the start of the script, and Julia's worried that Glenn is going to actually break up with her, which leads to a proposal scene where Glenn gives Julia flowers and they take a horse-drawn carriage ride. It seems like he's less of a jerk in Carrie Fisher's script. It's not quite as heavy as it is in the final film. There's no scene where Glenn tells Robbie he gets chicks hotter and younger than Julia and implies that he'll be cheating on her after the marriage. In fact, there's an included scene where Julia and Glenn see a priest in the lead up to taking their vows, and Glenn catches Robbie and Julia when they're having that kiss and they're talking about church tongue, but he's not threatened by Robbie, who's only a wedding singer. There's a different ending, which is the biggest difference of all in the entire film and script. Julia and Glenn leave for Las Vegas in Carrie Fisher's script and make it there. Robbie follows on another flight where he's working on his original song. Glenn says, "Let's do what we gotta do." And Julia looks horrified, like she's made a big mistake choosing Glenn. And the breakup and the satisfaction that comes from that as a viewer is off camera. Robbie sees Julia in a bar in Las Vegas and they sing the song, which is not "I Want to Grow Old With You," but could have been a placeholder song, something else. They were sort of figuring out what it was going to be. So in the script, there's just kind of a, placeholder, if you will. And in the Las Vegas bar, they kiss, and that's the end of the movie. Julia does sort of reference wanting someone she can grow old with, like a man she wants to grow old with in the script. So there's the seeds of the idea of the song there. But vast improvements were made after the script, possibly by Adam Sandler and Judd Apatow, who both wrote on The Wedding Singer. They added the bar mitzvah scene, presumably, and the Love Stinks song number, and Billy Idol, and look, the presence of that final flight, which is a real highlight of the film. At least the hip grandma sort of still makes it in. She's a bit too pushy in Carrie Fisher's script about Julia and Robbie needing to be together. That's sort of on the nose, but The Wedding Singer is still a classic rom-com, but from Carrie Fisher's script, it's missing a lot of the heart. And Robbie and Julia don't even get married at the end, which is sort of what his character's always wanted, They make this huge deal about how he wants to be married, start his own family, but without the wedding, there's no payoff to it. Carrie Fisher, look, she's been writing for years and years as a script doctor. Hook, Sister Act, Coyote Ugly, Lethal Weapon 3, to name a few. It's really crazy to think how close The Wedding Singer came to being really forgettable. And instead, it's one of my wife's favorite films.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our podcast at www.podmeifyoucan.com.